of the Second World War, when Japan first attacked the Pearl Harbor. The United States had a standing army of like a little over 1 million men. But to show you what it was with the United States, how they with the power that we had, when they in less than 1 year, like 11 months, we went from having an army of 1 million to over 16 million. We had over 16 million underarms in the armed forces. It was unbelievable. And then President Roosevelt went on the radio there, because we didn't have TV then, and he said, what I need is, I want 50,000 planes built in 1 year, which was unbelievable. And he got it. And the United States built 50,000 planes in 1 year. Nobody could outproduce the United States. The United States outproduced the whole world. That's how it was. 1941, the date that will live in infamy. The Empire of Japan pulled a sneak attack on the naval installations in Pearl Harbor, the U.S. Navy. They sunk a number of ships, 31 ships, but they didn't get the aircraft carriers and their docking facilities, which was they didn't have the what they wanted to get. Japanese didn't get what they wanted, and because of that, Yamamoto himself said, we just lost the war, because he didn't want to, like he said, he didn't want to go to war with the United States. And he says, I could play havoc with the United States for 6 months. After that, all bets are off. He says, you can't beat them. Their economic production is awesome. It's frightening. And Yamamoto knows he was educated in the United States. He went to Harvard, and he spent a few years here. And, but the Japanese, they wanted to go to war because we cut off all their oil supplies, the embargo, because we wanted Japan to. Japan was attacking China for the last 4 years, and we wanted them to stop. So we forced them into. We actually forced them into a war because we cut off all the oil supplies. The United States and England and a couple of the other countries cut off all their supplies, and it was either stop fighting with the Chinese or go to war, and they went to war. And that was it. And they couldn't beat us. That was it. And then later on, in April of '42, we bombed Tokyo. They couldn't believe it. And then the big battle in Midway. After Midway, like he said, the Japanese were never a naval power after that, because we destroyed all their big aircraft carriers. In a matter of 5 minutes, we destroyed their big aircraft carriers. The Heiyu, the Soryu, the Kaga, and the Akagi. We all destroyed them in a matter of 5 minutes. Everything was gone. They were never a naval power again. They still had a big army, soldiers and stuff like that, but the Navy was shot. That was it. It was just a matter of time. Then the United States engaged in this island hopping affair. They started out with the first land action of the war, where they had the soldiers on the beaches and everything. The first land action of the war was Guadalcanal, and Guadalcanal was invaded by the 1st Marine Division, and it just so happens that that's the outfit that I was in. I was in the 1st Marine Division, 5th Marines, 7th Motor Transport Battalion. we were the ones that attacked Guadalcanal, the first land action of the war. I even had a cousin of mine, Freddie, who lived in Florida. He was in the 1st Marine Division, and he was in the Battle of Guadalcanal. And he was trapped in a foxhole for 3 days behind Jap lines. And they never found him. He survived. But that's how it was. And then me, my 2 older brothers, Herbie was in the Second World War, and Herbie was an aviation machinist mate on an aircraft carrier called the Hornet with Admiral Halsey. When we made that attack on Japan on the aircraft carrier, Herbie was on that ship. And then Ronnie was also in the beginning of the Korean War, and he seen a lot of action. All of a sudden, we were all lucky enough that we survived.
So tell me about your time when you first applied and you went into boot camp.
Right, I enlisted in
How old were you?
I was like 16 and a half, you know.
They took you at 16?
Well, I said I was 17.
They took you at 17? I thought it was only 18.
No, 17.
Oh.
And I enlisted down in Whitehall Street. I took the oath of office, you know, and you had to raise your hand. I solemnly swear to take, you know, to protect the United States. And then I went through boot camp in Bainbridge, Maryland, which was a big base there. Bainbridge was, we had a lot of people there. It was about 80,000 men there in that boot camp there. And I still remember when on the buses we came in there into Bainbridge, and I was sitting down with my back up against a stanchion, you know, that's a column, and I remember this Lieutenant JG, that means a junior grade lieutenant, you know, like a second lieutenant, and he passed me by, and I was just sitting there, and then he stopped and he came over to me and he said to me, listen, don't you know enough to salute an officer when you see one? I said, why, you an officer? And he said to me, how long have you been in the Navy? I said, all day. And he said, come with me. He said, this one gets the first haircut. Because, you know, in boot camp, you have a haircut every week.
Right, to
every
keep
week you have a haircut.
They measure.
That's it.
What happens if you're caught sleeping on the job?
If you're caught sleeping on a watch.
Ah.
If you're on a watch, that's an automatic court-martial.
Oh, wow.
Depending how bad it could be.
Did you ever get caught sleeping?
Yeah. I didn't get caught sleeping, but later on, after boot camp, I went back to Bainbridge for my corps school, to become a hospital corpsman, and I was stationed at St. Albans Naval Hospital in Long Island. And I was on. My duty was on. I worked as a night corpsman, you know, to come in at. I used to come in like at 10 o'clock on a watch till 6 o'clock in the morning. Then I was relieved. But at 10 o'clock, I got there. It was like 10 minutes late to work. It was something, and the head nurse put me on report because I came 10 minutes late to work, and I got a summary court-martial because of it.
Wow.
Summary court-martial. They put me in a brig. I was in a brig for 20 days.
What is the brig?
Jail.
Oh, gosh.
You know, I had been a thing there, and
have you ever stood on, like, fire watch?
Oh, yeah.
What happened with that?
Well, I'll tell you that later. But in the boot camp there, I came into the brig, and I didn't know that the Marines those were the guards in the brig. They were all Marines. And I walked in, I came in there in the Navy uniform, and there was 3 Marines there. And the 2 of them grabbed me. One grabbed one arm, one grabbed the other arm, and the other guy started beating the shit out of me.
Why?
That's how it was. They did it.
What do you mean that's how it was?
That's how it was. They did these things.
Just for shits and giggles?
Right, just for that. And I
Did you fight back?
Well, I couldn't fight back, but
why not?
I was on the ground. There was 3 of them.
Oh my gosh!
And I looked up at him, the one that was beating up on me. I says, "You better kill me, because when I get you back in the hospital, you're dead meat." Because I was a medic.
Right.
Well, I spent 20 days in the brig. I got fined for $50 also. And then I went back when I went back to the hospital on my duty. Periodically, these guys from the brig used to come in for medical checkups and everything. Then came this guy. His name was Szymanski. He's the one who beat up on me, right? His name was Szymanski, right? And he was in the barracks there waiting to get shipped out or something. So he had to go through his medical changes. He had to be checked out and everything to make sure he had all his shots and all that stuff. You understand? When I seen him, he seen me, and he got scared. And he said, "I don't want to be on this ward." And there was a Navy doctor there, Dr. Sheriff. I still remember him. And the sheriff said to me, he says, "Son, are you gonna be okay here? He doesn't want to be here." I said, "No, I'll be all right, doctor. I'm fine. You just go about your business, and I'll be fine." And then this Szymanski, he was in the. I checked him in, into the ward, and he was in there. And I used to go down, because I was a night corpsman. We used to eat at night, like at midnight. We used to go into the mess hall at night. So that's when we had our food.
Wow.
And the head medical, the chief petty officer in my group, who was a hospital corpsman, but he was my boss, right? I said, and they all knew about what goes on in the brig there with the guys. And I said, McDonough was what his name was. I says, "Chief," I says, "I have Szymanski from the brig. He's in my ward. I just checked him in, right? We're gonna do a job on this guy."
Oh my God!
What we did was, we went to the record office. I pulled out his files, and I burned all his files.
Oh my God!
Burned all his files. What was it? And then we went to eat and everything, and then came back, and there was a whole bunch of Marines in that barracks that I was watching. They were all in the barracks, and I came in. I said, "Hey, Szymanski, come here." He said, "What are you on?" I says, "I can't find your records." All your shots and records.
Oh no!
I guess you'll have to take them all.
Oh no!
And all the other Marines knew what the story was. They started laughing, and he says, and they said to me, "What corpsman did you fuck up?" I said, "Me." He said, remember? Now it's my turn.
But why did he do it in the beginning? Like,
no, he was a mean bastard.
Was there any racism about being Jewish?
No, he was a mean bastard, that's all. And in any event, he had to take his shots over again.
Oh, God.
He developed penicillin poisoning, and he almost died. After that incident, if any medics went into the brig, they were never touched. Nobody went near them.
Oh my gosh.
I told him, I says...
Dad.
And then, after that, because of the nurses, I never liked those nurses. They were, they were always very strict and everything, what we call 4-0. They were strict.
What do you call them?
They were 4-0 in the Navy language. 4 O's means they were very
nitpicky and
yeah, right.
like Nurse Cratchit, Ratchet.
And I went into the I went into the captain's office, the what do you call it,
Whatever, their office.
The captain of the hospital.
Right. General surgeon.
A captain in the Navy is equal to a colonel in the Army.
Oh.
It's a very high thing.
High ranks.
And I said to the captain, Captain, do me a favor. Get me orders. Get me out of here because I can't do. I'm only going to be in trouble with these nurses here. The next morning, I had orders to the 1st Marine Division in Camp Pendleton.
Oh, okay.
They sent me there.
That's when you went.
I served all my time with the Marines.
Wow.
And the Marines treated me very good.
Yeah.
Because I was a medic, I took care of them. You know,
yeah.
We had I had a company of 360 men, and I was the only Jewish kid in the whole outfit.
Did they say anything about that?
No, because I was their medic. That was,
right.
They came to me when they wanted things done. I'll give you for instance, like because I had certain powers. We were going on a hike, a 60-mile hike.
60 miles?
Yeah, 60 miles.
That was like a typical thing?
Right, back and forth. That's how they were. And this one guy, he wanted to get out of marching so bad. He says, Doc, do something for me. Put me on the sick list or something. Pick me up. I says, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I says, I can write down that you're under the weather and you get out of it. What I want you to do, I said, you see these pair of shoes? I want you to take these shoes and spit shine them.
Ew.
You don't know what spit shine is.
You go and you.
But you get it like that, it's like mirrors.
Oh God.
Yeah. I told them, I said, I want you to do it every day. I want those because I use that for my inspection. And for 4 or 5 days, that's all he was doing was all day long spit shining those shoes.
Oh God.
They looked like patent leather when he got finished with them, right? I used to use it only for inspections. I got him out of it, I said I had good dinner. I didn't sleep in the barracks even with all the men.
Where did you sleep?
I slept in the dispensary.
Oh.
Right. I had a private room.
Huh.
The other guy slept in the barracks.
So you were in charge. Well, you in control of all the medicines and everything.
Right. I had a private room. I had a telephone and this and that, and like in the morning, like the mess sergeant, in charge of the food and everything.
Yeah.
He used to call me up in the morning and say, Doc, what do you want to have for breakfast?
So you had special treatment.
Well, yeah. So most of the times I had steak and eggs.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
And the guy and the rest of the men had.
No, they didn't get that.
What was the kind of food that they have anyway?
It was good. The food was good.
Well, what did they use? What's a typical Marine meal?
For breakfast?
Yeah.
You'd have all different types of eggs.
Oh.
Pork, sausage, bacon, hot cereal, cold cereal.
Okay, all right.
Fruit. The fruit was good.
Yeah. So being a corpsman, that means you were in charge of all the medicine. Did anyone try and swindle or try to get you to give them?
Yes, that happened.
Drugs.
When we were in Korea, a lot. I used to carry. See, the Marines carry a backpack. It's 70 pounds.
Wow.
Right. Well, you got to remember, we were all young people, 18, 19, 20 years old. We were
in the peak of health.
We felt we can tear the place apart. We were in such great shape.
Right. Wow.
So I had to carry the 70-pound pack on the back.
Wow.
Plus, because I was a medic, I had to carry another 50 pounds, what they call gas casualty kit, for my medicines and for my patients in case I had to fix it. So I had to carry 120 pounds on my back.
Oh my gosh.
I was 17, 18 years old.
It was nothing for you.
I felt like I could tear the place apart if I had to. We were in tremendous shape.
Oh, wow.
When you came out of boot camp, you felt like you were the toughest son of a bitch in the world. Nobody
Wow.
could bother you. That's how they made you believe.
Yeah.
You know.
They instilled that in you, and you also became it.
And a lot of times the guys say, "Hey doc, they offered me all kinds of money."
Everything.
Because I carried morphine.
Right. Yeah.
Then I used to tell them, "Don't you realize you're fucking with death?
Yeah.
This is death." Plus the fact I had to record it.
Right. Yeah.
I says, "Don't even ask me about this. You're
Yeah.
gonna end your life with this kind of stuff."
They were addicts.
I had a account for everything. I had to write down everything.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Right.
In retrospect, going back to California, before we went over to Korea, going back to California, we were only 30 we were only like 30 miles from the Mexican border. All right, I was down near San Diego.
Yeah.
Camp Pendleton is like 5 miles north of San Diego. San Diego, and then you go south of San Diego. The last town in the United States is called Chula Vista, and that ran right to the Mexican border. And then, the town that you came in Mexico when you went over the border from the United States was Tijuana, and Tijuana was known for all the
crazy stuff.
No, all the hoovers and all the all the guys went there to get laid and all that stuff. So, I remember,
Is that where you got your tattoo?
No, got it in Marine Barracks. But I remember one weekend. The guys came back from Tijuana, and one of the guys said to me, "Doc, I think I caught a dose of something, like a gonorrhea or something like that." And I was supposed to report it to them. They had a sexual disease. I had what they call a 20-year VD log. I had to report these things.
Yeah.
But I never reported it.
How come?
Because they were my men. It was my company.
Right.
I didn't want to see the guy get it,
Yeah.
I used to do that. I used to protect them, and the Marines knew that. They'd go all out for me. I used to get up in the morning to show you how the respect they had for me. I used to get up in the morning. Before getting up in the morning, the guys would go in. I would go into the head, and that's the bathroom. In the Navy, it's called the head. In the Army, it's called the latrine. The Navy, it's called the head. And I'd go in every morning and shave and shower and everything. When I came out, my bed was made, my boots were shined. They did it. They did it for me.
Wow.
Take care of it. But I never reported any of the guys.
Yeah. Well, how did they get? I mean, if they had, any kind of venereal like VD, then how did they get better?
I gave them.
You gave them whatever stuff,
but I wouldn't report it.
Right. So you had lots of different jobs. I'll tell you one of my jobs in boot camp. Okay.
Now in boot camp, you have what they call a grinder.
What's that?
The grinder is where you do all your marching.
Oh.
You train on the grinder. It's a big, vast, flat place there, all cemented in, it's all flat, nothing, about a mile, it's about a half a mile around, really gigantic, enough for thousands of men, right?
Wow.
And when in boot camp, you have a certain amount of time where you have to do a certain, what they call a watch with your rifle, and you got to stay at one end of the grinder. We had a big Quonset hut. You know what a Quonset hut is? It's a corrugated building, corrugated steel. It's rounded off like this.
Okay.
All right, and it's big, and one of the officers. All the officers used to stay there. All right. Now, you got to remember, I had what they call a fire watch. The fire watch is an 8-hour watch.
But what are you watching over?
It's just a guard.
Oh.
It's a guarding. You know, it's guard.
Okay.
You stay with your rifle and your guard and everything.
Right.
And you have 11 general orders in case you're challenged. You got to rip off those 11 general orders. I still remember some of them.
What? Like, what's 11 general orders?
I had one order, like, if a captain challenged me, son, what's your first general order? And I used to say, walk my post in a military manner, observing everything that takes place within sight or hearing. That was one of my things.
Oh, wow.
And my company commander always had me to do it. He says, let the Jewish kid go. He says he's got an unbelievable mind. He remembers everything.
Oh, my gosh.
So they always used to use me for that, you know. In any event.
How do you remember that?
Now, the reason that they call it boot camp.
Right.
Is because you wear boots.
Right.
Officers wear low-cut shoes.
Oh.
They don't wear boots. They wear low-cut shoes. We wear boots. It's boot camp.
So when they say boots on the ground, they want
right.
the front line.
In any
people.
event, I had a fire watch outside the office where all the officers were sitting. I was on a bench there, and I with my rifle and everything. and in boot camp you're always tired because they wake you up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh God!
And you always want more sleep, but you can't get it. You understand?
Yeah.
So after sitting there for a couple of hours, I got very drowsy, and I fell asleep. You know, which is a court-martial offense. I mean, that's automatic jail.
Oh gosh!
But I fell asleep with my head down. You know, like that because I was tired.
Yeah.
And I woke up, but I didn't lift up my head. I just woke up. My head was down, but I opened up my eyes, and all of a sudden I seen 3 sets of low-cut shoes in front of me. I said, "Oh boy!" There was officers. There was 3 officers looking at me, and I picked my head up. I put my hands together, and I said, "Amen." And the head officer said, "Son, were you sleeping on duty?" I said, "No, sir, I was praying." They knew I was sleeping, but they couldn't prove it because of what I said.
Wow!
And I got away. I thought very quickly.
Quick thinking.
Yeah, and that's what
Wow!
I got away with it.
That is so funny.
When I came back to the barracks, all those guys were laughing. They said, "Wow!"
Oh my gosh, that's great.
And at boot camp, like we get up 4 o'clock in the morning, shave and shower, with bath or whatever, and we go to chow. That's breakfast.
Breakfast.
You had to go outside. You had to line up with your rifles and stand at attention until everybody was out, and then we'd march up the grinder to the other end of the grinder was the mess hall. The last guy out of the barracks, because he was late, he had the fire bucket is?
Oh, no.
The last guy had to carry a fire bucket full of rocks to chow because for
being late.
Yeah, right. That's how they did.
You get 3 meals a day?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
The whole thing in boot camp is they try to break you up mentally. If they can't break you mentally, they figure you're going to be all right under fire.
Okay, right.
But
if they break you mentally, then what?
If you can't make it, you can't make it.
Where did you see guys that didn't make it?
Not too often.
Yeah.
Not too often. But otherwise, they give you a medical discharge or something like that. You can handle it.
Right.
So that's what it's all mental.
Right.
That's what it's physical too. But it's all mental.
Did they scream at you? Did the sergeant, did they actually get up in your face and they're like, get out of here,
I got kicked down a flight of stairs by the company commander.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. They hit you then sometimes. Other times you went through. And I looked up at him. I said, "You can't hurt me. I'm from New York." But
you never saw your brothers in the military. You never worked side by side because they were
older than me.
Right. Ronnie was in what outfit? What was he?
Navy.
He was the Navy. You were the Navy.
Herbie was Navy.
Oh, they're all Navy.
We were all Navy.
Okay.
But I served my time with the Marines.
Yeah. Because the Navy is a part of the Marines?
No,
the Marines are a part of the Navy.
Right.
Okay.
The Marines are a part of the Navy. That's why on every Navy ship there's always a contingent of Marines.
I see.
Even the way we got paid. The Army and the Air Force get paid once a month. The Navy and Marines get paid every 2 weeks. Why? I don't know. That's how it's set up.
Really?
Yeah, that's how it's set up.
Oh.
So it's always the Navy and Marines are always pretty tight together.
Yeah. That is weird.
Yeah. That's even when I inspection, I had 2 different sets of uniforms. I had the Marine uniforms and I had the Navy uniforms.
Oh.
I was allowed to wear my Marine uniform, but with Navy stripes on it. For me, it was uniform.
That's interesting.
That was uniform of the day for me. I was able to do that.
You were right.
Yeah, because I couldn't wear Marine stripes because I wasn't a Marine.
Right, but you were right.
I was still Navy, but I had what they call tropicals, Marine tropicals, gabardines. They were really nice.
What happened to it? Did you?
I don't know.
Who knows? Okay, got lost.
At that time I was in, I had a 29-inch waist. Okay.
Wow.
I lost 90 pounds in boot camp.
Oh my God.
Right. I went into boot camp, I weighed 245 pounds. And they looked at me and they said, "You're not eating, you son of a bitch. You're not eating."
You fat son of a bitch.
They didn't want to give me my uniforms because they cost a lot of money.
They did, right.
And they would have to reissue me another set of uniforms at the end of boot camp because they knew I was going to lose all that weight.
Wow.
I used to get a half a pint of milk and dry cereal, and that was it.
Yeah, but they controlled what you ate.
245, and 16 weeks later, I was 155 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah.
But I never forget that stuff.
Yeah.
I tried to look up a couple of guys that I was very friendly with. That's why I asked you about this, what's her name, Weichel, what's her name?
I don't know.
She was in the TV,
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot who you were talking about.
Lisa Weichel.
Yeah, Welch. Lisa Welch, her name is.
Well, her name is Weichel, really.
But she was very young.
Well,
you mean her father, right? Her father.
Her father was in hospital core school.
Right.
Donald.
Huh.
Donald, and there was another Richie Pazienza. We used to hang together with all 3 of us. That's how it was.
Wow.
But I think she was she's old enough to be, maybe her father was with me.
Uh-huh. Wow.
She's not 20 years old. I mean, she's,
Right.
She must be in her 50s already.
I'm sure older than that, actually.
Well, older than her, right.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that her father was with me.
Yeah.
We both did, Donald Weichel.
How long did you serve in the military completely?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years active duty. And then 4 years in the reserve.
Now, what does the reserve actually mean?
You're not inactive. You're not under fire.
But they can call you at any time.
Oh yeah, I was.
Did they ever?
I didn't even get the discharge.
Oh, did they ever call you?
No.
Oh.
But I was in the active reserves.
Yeah.
When I got out of the Navy, I was discharged. I didn't get an honorable discharge. I got what they call a DD 214.
I've heard that before.
DD 214. It's separation papers under honorable conditions.
Oh yeah.
Right. And after I served 4 years in the reserves, then they sent me my discharge.
Nice.
Because you wouldn't remember when we first moved here, an officer came to the door here.
Why?
An officer, Navy officer, came here, and he wanted me to re-enlist. They offered me all kinds of money.
Oh wow!
Because I had what they call a critical rate for field medicine. It was very
right.
I had the training and everything, and they offered me I don't remember, it was a couple $1,000 at the time,
which was a lot of money at the time. Yeah.
Are you kidding? Today it would be like 20,000.
Yeah.
Right? I said no, that's enough. I made it through.
That's it. That's enough.
That's it. Yeah.
Ah.
Sure. That's it.
Wow.
But you never forget. Just like my service number. You never forget my service number. 4739223. I know all my Navy clothes. We had stencils. You had to stencil all your clothing with your service number.
That your hat is. You still have that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So how do you know you're talking to someone else who is like actual military?
And they said and that happens to be Navy.
Yeah.
I would say to them like, well, When's the last time you went to the Gidonk to have poke bait?
What is that?
What? The Gidonk is the canteen.
Gidon.
The Gidonk is the canteen, and poke bait is candy.
Why do you guys call it that?
That's Navy lingo.
Okay.
If you didn't know what I'm talking
does it still? Is that back then, or is it still now? You think?
Yeah, it's now. Sure.
Yeah.
It's always been. Then I know he's a phone.
Oh, they probably do that so that they don't want to like let everyone know like what they're doing.
Yeah, like the chief petty officer, he said, "Oh, you sons of bitches, all you kids going to the Gidonk, they eat poke bait." And my chief petty officer in boot camp, he had hash marks on his sleeves. These lines like this,
What's that for?
Each line represents 4 years of service.
Wow.
And he had 7 lines. He was in the service 28 years.
Wow. Well,
and
it's a career for everyone, people. Yeah.
If I stayed in and I survived, at 37, I would retire.
Yeah, 37. That's young. But that's the cutoff.
No, if you want to say 20 years, you retire. If you want to stay 20, you can stay longer too.
But what's the oldest that they will actually take somebody?
I'm not sure.
Like the youngest, they take 17.
Yeah. It depends what time. It depends if it's wartime or it's peacetime. Usually
peacetime.
Usually, well, maybe I don't know, maybe 28 or 30 or something.
Oh, really?
Sure.
Okay.
And these lines are called hash marks.
Hash marks.
Hash marks. It's either red or it's in gold.
What's red mean?
Red means you represent 4 years. If that's in red, if it's in gold, that means you've had 28 years of service, and you never had a spot on your record.
Wow.
Good conduct for 28 years.
That's something.
Each hash mark is considered 4 years.
Wow, and that's on the
And they have
uniform?
that in the Army too. But the Army, the hash mark represents 2 years. The Navy is 4 years.
And that's on the uniform?
Yeah, on the sleeves, on down here.
Sleeves, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So you have a tattoo.
I have a tattoo now. How did I get a tattoo? I've never been a drinker. I never drank. I never cared for it. I could never cultivate a taste for it because I just didn't like it. I'd rather have a soda or an egg cream.
And technically, Jews are not supposed to have, religious Jews are not supposed to have,
in any event,
tattoos.
That wasn't for me. I didn't care for it, Okay, so the last month in service, when I was getting out, I was back in Camp Pendleton already. And you put into a special unit all the guys that are getting ready to go out, So one night there was like I think I had 2 days left to do in the service, something like that. And they said, "Come on, Doc, go out, break down, be with the guys. We're all getting out." And I said, "All right." So I went, and we went to San Diego, and we all started to drink, and I got drunk.
Oh, no.
I got drunk, and I came back to the barracks. I was out like a light. I didn't know where the hell I was. And one of the guys in the outfit was a tattoo artist.
Oh, no.
So they said, "Well, let's tattoo Doc. He's a doctor, Doc." So they put this tattoo on the thing that conduces to medical insignia, and then I remember the next day getting up, I got up and I felt something on my arm. I said, "What the hell is this?" I said, "Look at that." I said, I couldn't believe it. I said, "A tattoo."
And you didn't even know? You didn't even feel it?
No, I didn't feel that.
Were you mad? Yeah, I'm sure.
No, we didn't like it, but
it is what it is.
And then we got in line to the last day. We went into the room, the dispersing. That's who the dispersing officer who gives out the money. You get what they call MOP, mustering out pay. They give you a certain amount of money when you're getting out, a chunk of money, right?
Oh, okay.
It's called MOP, right? And I got, at that time, I think I got about $400 or something. which was a lot of money then.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm going back to 1958.
Wow. Yeah.
That $400 today would be maybe $6,000 to $7,000 or $8,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
And everybody had to be very careful with their money because everybody in the barracks, we had only the guys that were getting out stayed in that building. I remember I taped mine to my leg, the money. I taped it to my thigh.
Why, people would steal it or something?
Yeah, they could. You had a lot of money. There was a lot of money floating around in the barracks.
Oh my God!
Thousands and thousands of dollars. So you were very careful. So I had white tape. I taped it around my thing. I taped it in my arm in case I fell asleep. I wanted to make sure nobody got to me.
Oh my God! Yeah, you got a tattoo. You never know.
Right. So that's it. And then I got out. I had a lot of uniforms. I must have had about 40 uniforms.
Why?
Because my working uniforms as a corpsman, my working uniforms was white.
Oh, right.
It wasn't a dress. I had what they call dress blues, navy dress blues, like you have over here.
Yeah, right.
And then you had what they call undress blues,
which was
all blue, but no white.
No
piping.
insignias or anything.
No white piping or anything.
Okay.
Right. And then I had the white uniforms, and I had a lot of them.
I didn't know they issued you that many.
Yeah,
I thought it was only a couple.
And then I remember going to the main gate.
You gave them all away.
I gave them all away to everybody, whatever. And I went, and I got to the main gate. I was walking up real close, and there was a Marine guard there. And he looked at me because I was almost running. And he says, what are you, a short timer? You know, getting out? I says, read it, buddy, I'm out. That's it. I caught a bus on the other, the town in
near Camp Pendleton?
Outside town, yeah, there was Oceanside. That was the town there. Oceanside, and I caught a
like a bus or
bus. Yeah, I caught a bus, like a Greyhound bus or whatever.
Right.
And I had to go up to Los Angeles because I made reservations on a plane to come home.
Right.
And I went to a place called the Tail of the Cock.
What is that?
It was a steak restaurant.
Oh.
I still remember. I went there, and then I went to Disneyland. Disneyland had just opened up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was 1958. That's when they opened up Disneyland.
Wow.
In Anaheim, California.
Wow.
I went there. I spent the day there, and then.
Just you?
Yeah, it was me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me.
Wow.
Well, I had a cousin living there too.
Freddie?
Monty.
Oh, Monty.
He was my first cousin. He was a Trachtenberg.
Right.
Yeah. And I spent some time with them over there. And then I got the plane. I had the plane, and I caught the plane. I was on. I forget what the airline was. I'm not sure what it was.
Pan Am.
I don't know.
Or Eastern.
And I flew directly from Los Angeles to Miami Beach.
Oh, okay.
Because my parents were living in Miami Beach.
Oh, that's where you. Oh, okay. All right. Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got off the plane, and the first thing I did was the plane doesn't come into Miami Beach, only in Miami. There's no.
Right.
And in Miami International Airport is right next to a place called 36th Street. On 36th Street, it's a big boulevard, and that's where all the used car dealers were.
Mm.
And the first thing I did is I bought a car before I even got home.
Wow. What kind of car?
I bought a 1951 Chevy, a two-door stick.
A stick?
Yeah, well, it was a stick. It wasn't an automatic. It was.
Right, I know.
Yeah, right. I paid $175.
Oh my God! Brand new?
No, it was used car.
Used. Okay.
It was a 51, and I got out in 58.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah, wow.
I paid $175.
Still, oh my God!
It was in great shape. I loved that car.
What color?
It was like a very light green. Very, very light. Very, very, very light green. It was very nice. It was a great car. I loved it. And then I drove into Miami Beach.
I bet your parents were very happy that you were
of course,
home.
I was there, you know.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
That's amazing. What a story.
And I spent there 5 years in Florida. My parents moved back to New York, to Brooklyn.
Why did they move there?
I don't know. They moved back, whatever.
Different for job or something?
Whatever, yeah. And I spent, and I lived with Ronnie. Me and Ronnie, we had an apartment.
Oh.
We had an apartment in Miami. Not Miami Beach, but in Miami. We had our own apartment. He was going to TV school or something. He was a lighting director or something, whatever.
Oh, he was in it. He wanted to do entertainment.
Well, whatever, yeah. And
oh, so he was a gaffer, a production assistant? I didn't know that.
Yeah. At one time, Ronnie was a junior reporter for New York Times.
So he went into communications. He went to college, or?
Yeah, he was going to college, right.
So he must have gone in for business communications.
Whatever,
That's
whatever.
What they do. Oh, so I didn't know that.
We had our own apartment, like we lived together, me and Ronnie, for a few years.
Is this before he became a wrestler?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he did that, and I enrolled in the University of Miami, and I was going to school at the University of Miami.
As
a pre-med student.
Pre-med.
And my major I was majoring in zoology.
Zoology?
Yeah.
For animals?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you wanted to be a vet?
Not necessarily, but I had to pick a major. My major. You major in certain things, zoology or chemistry, or I was more interested in the animals. So I like that.
Then instead of the people.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's it. I never knew that.
It's a zoology.
Yeah. But you didn't stick with it. How come?
Wasn't for me. I didn't,
You really wanted to do baseball.
Yeah.
That was your passion.
That's right.
But the thing
and Ronnie's
is,
passion too.
Why did you decide to go to college on? You listened to your parents. That's why.
They wanted me to be a doctor, and I didn't want.
How long did you go to college before you decided to quit?
2 years.
It's a long time, actually, because that's a lot. So to be for a doctor, you'd have to go 6 or 7 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go through pre-med, and then you got to go through 4 years of medical school.
Yeah, undergrad and all that other stuff.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
It's an 8-year obligation, really.
Wow. That wasn't for you. Yeah. Yeah.
But then, I moved back. I left school, so I moved back to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
With my parents and everything, and
Brighton Beach.
Yeah. And I moved back.
And the apartment that went, all those stairs that went up.
Yeah, right. And then I remember it was like I went to a dance. I didn't want to go to. It was a Thursday night or something. I think so, Thursday, whatever. And I went with a friend of mine. His name was Dixie. His name was Barry, but everybody called him Dixie. And we went to this dance in Menorah Temple on 14th Avenue. I met Mommy there that night.
Wow.
That was it.